All right, just wanted to make a quick video on something I've been working on for a little while. I was trying to come up with an ideal Amiga solution uh, to get me a system that would cover as much as I wanted to do and not have to switch out hardware. Now, I actually have several other Amigas. I have a 1000, a 2000, a 500, and this 1200 here. And by far this 1200 is my favorite. But there's several incompatibilities that come with this. I have a 3.1 kickstart in it. And also this has an 020 processor in it. So it's slightly different than, say, your Amiga 500 with a 68000 processor in it. And Kickstart 1.3. And it seems like the majority of the software that came out during the golden era came out for that 1.3 Kickstart. Now I could, just unplug and plug in a 500 when I wanted to play certain games, but then when I wanted to play the higher end games that utilize the AGA chipset that this machine has in it, I could plug this one back in. But it would be nice if I could play them in one machine, and also the ability to get those ROM images from the internet or wherever I may have them stored on a modern day computer onto this machine. So let me show you what I've got. Initially, I started out with this item right here. Now, this is a Gotek, and it's got the ability to put a USB stick into this little drive, and it actually replaces your floppy drive, is what this does. Now, this is great for a floppy-based solution replacement. If you don't want to go the hard drive route, which I would recommend going that way. But I started out this way, and it worked good for a while, but I still had the incompatibility issues with the kickstart that's in this machine and whatnot. So I ended up putting the floppy back in it, which I like having a floppy drive in these machines. It's great. And I went with a hard drive solution that is based off of an SD card, a compact flash version as well. And that goes inside. And on the Amiga 1200 and the 600, they came with an IDE interface. And that's what I've plugged this one into. So that gives me the ability to boot off of a hard drive. It also gives me a lot of storage because I've got a card that's divided up into several partitions. And as you see here, I've got quite a bit going on. And then the next thing I put in it was an 8 meg RAM expansion that I got off of eBay. It's a new unit. It's not an older model, but it's a newer made piece of equipment, and it bumps me up to 8 meg total. So you won't see that quite up here because I've got some stuff in the RAM disk. I was getting some stuff set up to show on this video. But this gives me the ability to run WHDLoad, and if you've not seen this thing is wonderful because you can actually emulate older kickstarts. So if you've got something that needs Kickstart 1.3 and this has got a 3 or 3.1 chip in it, you can actually still run it. It takes a little more memory to do that, and hence the 8 meg card. But it's great. You can load games on here. This front end is a launcher, and it's just pages and pages of games in here. It's just about everything I've ever seen, and there's not much that's not in here on WHDLoad that WHDLoad that won't play. This is a great tool to have. So what it'll do, you'll click on your game, and it will load the appropriate kickstart, and then it'll load the game to go with it. And this is all hard drive based, so I don't have to fumble with diskettes, and I don't have to try to click through this little bitty tiny menu to find the right option. So we'll just exit out of that. So this comes down to well, what do you get the ADF files on there if they're not already on there. What I'm using for that is one of the really nifty features of the Amiga 600 and the 1200, and that is one of these deals. An SD card, or excuse me, a compact flash card into a compact flash reader that's a PCMCIA card. Now this machine and also the 600 have a card slot on the side, and you can just slip them in, which is great. And then when you, so it's in essence, it's a removable hard drive. So I've got one internal that's an SD card, and I've got the compact flash for an external removable hard drive. So when I want to put something on it, I take it out of here and put it in one of these deals where I can read it into a modern day Macintosh or PC. Find my ADF files that are the disk images I want to get to the machine, copy them over here, and put them into this, and then slide it into the computer. And it makes life so much better. So if I were going to recommend one system to have, if you were only going to buy one and you didn't want a whole collection full of Amigas sitting on the shelf so you could hit every variant of every game, I would go with the 1200 for several reasons. The IDE interface, allowing you to hook the hard drive up inside the machine, which now you can get the little readers off of eBay that let you do compact flash cards or micro SD cards. And I'll get the RAM expander, and I'll get one of these. This I think costs $6 US, and it allows me to put a compact flash in the side. So then I've got removable media, and I don't have to have the machine case off and the thing looking all to pieces. It's a nice clean install and works great. Also hooks up just fine to a modern day monitor too, with the RGB output on the back. So what I'm using for the output is an RGB to SCART cable, and hooked in right to the back of my TV, and it works just great. So anyway, just a few thoughts on that, and wanted to put my video up. I watched so many other Amiga videos, I wanted to contribute a little something. So here's my contribution to that.